In February 2023, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken rushed to the Middle East to make another push for a negotiated settlement between Israel and the Palestinians, following a dramatic escalation in violence between the two sides. Blinken urged peace in his meetings with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the President of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas. But the prospects could hardly be dimmer. More than 30 Palestinians were killed, mostly at the hands of Israeli security forces. In March, a Palestinian gunman killed 7 Israeli civilians outside a synagogue in the Israeli settlement of East Jerusalem, one of the worst attacks in the city in years. This follows the deadliest year in the West Bank since the UN started tracking deaths in 2005, with 154 Palestinians killed by Israeli security forces in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. While peace has long been elusive in the occupied Palestinian territories, there was a new dimension to the violence in the West Bank, which was believed to have spiraled out of control. Unlike previous unrest, newly emerging Palestinian militant groups are increasingly fragmented and calling for a popular uprising. This demand, in turn, coincides with a radical shift to the extreme right in Israel's government. Many Palestinians, and the young in particular, have lost trust in the governing body of the West Bank, the Palestinian Authority, and other local factions to protect them from expanding Israeli settlements and suppression by Israeli security forces. This new phase of resistance aims to unite these disaffected youths who are seeking an alternative to the traditional Palestinian power structures. Several new armed groups have emerged in the past year, and half of the public's support for armed resistance has grown stronger. Israeli security forces responded in early 2022 with an operation called Break the Wave, which targeted fighters in 2 West Bank cities, Nablus and Jenin. This operation, which has paralyzed the security apparatus of the Palestinian Authority in these areas, was followed by many more raids by security forces throughout 2022 and a deadly start to 2023. This has amplified the anger of Palestinians. At the vanguard of this uprising is one group called the Lion's Den. It is believed to have evolved as an offshoot of an earlier group, the Nablus Brigade, an affiliate of the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades. The Lion's Den has gained strength since the August killing of one of its founders, Ibrahim al-Nabulsi, a charismatic fighter also known as the Lion of Nablus. He was reported to be 18 at the time of his death. As an alternative to more established groups, such as the Islamic Jihad, the Lion's Den has a relative lack of structure and organization. This disruptive appeal is part of what draws people to the group. Each time a notable member of the Lion's Den is targeted and eliminated, the group loses strength in numbers and organization, but is boosted in its overall appeal. The pendulum of violence is also becoming less predictable with the establishment of an unprecedented far-right government in Israel. The re-election of Netanyahu and the formation of a new coalition government with the ultra-Orthodox and anti-Arab parties, the Religious Zionist Party and Otzma Yehudit, is likely to further legitimize support for decentralized groups such as the Lion's Den. The appointment of Itamar Ben-Gvir as National Security Minister has inflamed tensions even further. Ben-Gvir was previously convicted for incitement of racism and violence against Palestinians in the weeks leading up to taking office. He is also an outspoken advocate for settlement expansion and the ultimate annexation of the West Bank. Israel's security cabinet also announced a series of harsh responses to the outbreak of violence in the West Bank. These included strengthening Jewish settlements in the West Bank, along with canceling the social security benefits for families of attackers and making it easier for Israeli citizens to obtain gun licenses. With Abbas lacking control over the new armed Palestinian groups, and Israeli political leaders such as Bezalel Smotrich, head of the Religious Zionist Party, and Ben-Gvir shaping the narrative of Israeli politics, discussions of a two-state solution and peace in the Palestinian territories are likely to take a back seat for the foreseeable future. There are also geopolitical concerns at work. Israel is currently in the midst of a U.S.-brokered negotiation to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia, a major follow-up to the Abraham Accord agreements struck with several Arab countries during the Trump administration. Hamas could well be trying to torpedo the Saudi deal and try to undo the existing Abraham Accords. The Hamas spokesperson revealed that the attack was a message to Arab countries, calling on them to cut ties with Israel. Thanks for watching, please, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.